You're listening to Young and our Restless Updated 24. All the latest in television entertainment news. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Tracy and Billy. It was a hectic week in Genoa City, and the Young and the Restless recap for March 24 to 28 featured plenty of drama and unresolved issues for residents. What happened in Genoa City? Phyllis had a dream about being confined in the clinic and awoke to see Summer and Nick outside her door. She was frustrated and maintained that she didn't need continuous check-ins, but they refused to go. Nick hugged her as she broke down and begged him to relieve her suffering. She stated that being locked with Sharon had altered her, making her question their forced link. Sharon had saved her life, but she still loathed her. Nick encouraged her to let go of her anger, but Phyllis struggled. Meanwhile, Daniel found Sharon at Society and asked how she was coping. She admitted she still didn't feel safe, and he noted their captor seemed to want them to reconcile. While Sharon wouldn't call it a favor, she acknowledged that she and Phyllis had saved each other. Though she hoped for healing, she wasn't sure if their peace would last. Daniel encouraged her to find positives in the darkness. Nick later gathered Sharon and Phyllis at Crimson Lights, insisting they needed to talk. Phyllis agreed, though she acknowledged it was Nick's idea. Elsewhere, Billy reassured Sally that while Phyllis had thanked him for saving her, he was focused on their relationship. However, he worried Phyllis was struggling more than she let on. At the GTAC, Michael informed Victor that their spies at Glissade remained in place. Victor suspected Aristotle Dumas was planning something and didn't want any surprises. Michael vowed to dig deeper, as Victor admitted they had a complicated history of business battles. Tuesday, March 25, 2025 at Crimson Lights, Sharon and Phyllis made awkward small talk about being back and their brave kids. Though safe, Phyllis knew the trauma wasn't over and deflected by questioning Nick's hero complex. Sharon insisted they discuss what happened in the clinic first. They admitted their relationship had been filled with anger and resentment, what Phyllis called outright hate. When Sharon explained brain chemistry, Phyllis dismissed it, admitting she still hated Sharon and felt guilty about it. Sharon reassured her that no one expected an instant change. Phyllis, struggling with her kid's concern, wanted a break from it all. Sharon suddenly suggested they leave, taking her to the park. There, they reflected on their rivalry, Nick's role in their animosity, and their shared connection as stepmothers. Sharon suggested things between them could change, but Phyllis was reluctant. Eventually, she agreed to leave the past at the clinic. Baby steps. Later, over cocktails at Society, they acknowledged their lingering nightmares. Phyllis admitted she felt stuck in the past, haunted by regrets. Sharon joked about couples therapy, and though Phyllis scoffed, they agreed to move forward, step by step. Meanwhile, Victor warned Lily not to trust Damien, revealing that Dumas had been gathering information on the Winters family for months. Lily relayed this to Devon, and they agreed they had been played. At Billy's, Sally grew suspicious of his dealings with Dumas. Though Billy downplayed it, he later sneaked off to call Dumas, assuring him everything was on track. With a smirk, he added, "As far as that quid pro quo we discussed goes, I've got the quid if you've got the quo." Wednesday, March 26, 2025. Kyle and Claire woke up together at the club, and she panicked about being late. He convinced her to stay, suggesting she leave clothes at his place. They playfully made out, ordered breakfast, and enjoy a lazy morning together. At Society, Jack invited Nikki to breakfast, praising her work at Chancellor. She was surprised he wasn't angry at Victor for pulling the company from Billy. Jack admitted it forced Billy to reevaluate his life for the better, but wished Victor would leave Kyle and Claire alone. Nikki worried Victor would push Claire away, but they agreed to support the couple and ignored Kyle and Claire's obvious excuse for calling in sick. At the GCAC, Phyllis updated Nick and Summer on her talk with Sharon. She insisted she wasn't letting hatred rule her life anymore, but admitted she still struggled with nightmares. Nick admired her growth, and Summer reassured her she was making progress. Phyllis acknowledged Sharon had saved her life. At Crimson Lights, Tracy was shocked to hear Sharon describe their captivity as a psychological experiment designed to force her and Phyllis to reconcile. Sharon believed their captor knew them personally. She then noticed Tracy's engagement ring and encouraged her happiness, but Tracy admitted the situation made it hard to celebrate. Sharon suggested consulting Alan for insight into their captor, and Tracy agreed. Later, Tracy called Alan, postponing her trip to Paris. After hanging up, she muttered, "This just cannot be." When Jack arrived, she broke down, pleading with him to assure her she hadn't made a terrible mistake. Thursday, March 27, 2025 at the ranch. Adam and Chelsea playfully teased each other before discussing telling Connor about their relationship. Chelsea worried the news might trigger his OCD, but Adam assured her Connor had grown. When they told him, he was thrilled, joking that it was predictable. He asked about marriage and if Sally and Billy knew. They'd reassured him he could tell anyone and still care about them. After he left, Adam and Chelsea celebrated how well it went. At the GCAC, Diane confronted Phyllis about her kidnapping. Phyllis surprised her by apologizing, claiming she wanted a fresh start. Skeptical, Diane provoked her by calling herself a lab rat, triggering Phyllis' trauma. She panicked, and Diane called Billy to check on her. Billy found Phyllis struggling to breathe and took her outside. At the park, she vented about Diane ruining her day, admitting she felt weak. Billy reassured her, then shifted to business, revealing Aristotle Dumas wanted to invest in Chancellor and take on Victor. Phyllis thought he was crazy. Meanwhile, at Crimson Lights, Tracy confided in Jack that she doubted Alan's identity. She connected his mysterious texts to Sharon and Phyllis' kidnapping, revealing one mentioned gas expulsion, just like their near-death experience. Jack was shocked as Tracy worried Alan's sudden proposal and departure meant he wasn't who he claimed to be. Jack agreed something felt wrong and insisted they contact Chance. Tracy feared Alan would never forgive her if she was wrong, but Jack believed she wasn't. Friday, March 28, 2025. Billy decided to pursue Chancellor again, angering Phyllis, who feared he'd lose credibility. He insisted it was a smart business move, not revenge, but she didn't believe him. He wanted her support but refused to beg. When she questioned if he was being manipulated, he admitted power was part of it, but saw a bigger opportunity to surpass Newman Media. Phyllis, having nearly died, refused to play more games. At home, Billy informed Sally about Phyllis' reaction. When he skirted specifics, Sally reminded him that they had committed to be honest. He confessed that Dumas had made a significant offer, but he couldn't go into detail just yet. Sally thought the secrecy strange, especially because Dumas had concealed his identity. Meanwhile, Phyllis looked for information about Dumas, but found nothing. Victoria, Nick, Victor, and Nikki arrived at the Newman property to hear Adam and Chelsea announce their reconciliation. Victor was ecstatic, and the family celebrated their reunion. Nikki warned Chelsea to be cautious, but Chelsea believed Adam had changed because of Connor. Later, Victor and Nikki talked about Adam's progress, with Nikki still skeptical. At Crimson Lights, Nick and Victoria grudgingly admitted they were happy for Adam and Chelsea. Meanwhile, Chelsea and Adam returned home, hopeful the family would come around. Elsewhere, Chance, Jack, and Tracy suspected Alan/Martin's true identity. Jack invited him back under the pretense of a family wedding, and Alan accepted quickly. Jack remained wary, but Tracy insisted on confronting him herself. Despite Jack's warnings about Martin's past crimes, she felt she had to uncover the truth. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my WSR Media to our channel and stay with us.